Hello, everyone, and welcome to In the Flow, or maybe we should call it Out of the Flow this time because it's kind of been a while. Hey, what's up? My name's Hannah.
And my name is Courtney.
And we are the Eureka Effect, a podcast slash YouTube channel slash just two girls
out there vibing.
Yeah, and shooting the shit. And welcome to
episode 6. Yeah, it's been a minute, so I guess we can brief you guys and catch you up on what has been happening and why we have been out of the flow. A multitude of reasons, I suppose. I feel like everyone has been a little bit out of the flow, not just us.
Yeah.
But, yeah, we've had a lot of other endeavors on the side that we've been trying to focus on and our big move.
Yeah. So I think the last time, our last In the Flow was definitely one of our best, and I have actually a couple people talk to me about it. I think you have too. And then we moved, and we were so excited because we were like, "Oh, moving's so fun! Like we're gonna move into this big house. We're gonna have so many projects." And then it turned into, "Holy shit, we're moving into this big house, and we have so many fucking projects."
It's what we asked for, though, in a lot of senses, but it did become overwhelming for sure.
Exactly, and I think we all separately went through our little bouts of shadow work and stuff. I know I've been pretty, down in the dumps, more so than I have been all quarantine. I've been on this crazy high. And
as the summer came to an end, I feel like it started actually, I quite enjoyed August, the beginning of it, but near the end of it, it started in the beginning, but I was able to fight it off until the very end, and then the end I hit a huge wall, and I've just been trying to it's hard to be in the flow and have these type of discussions when you're not feeling that optimistic to begin with, and I feel like we both were only getting it in little blips, and we were out of the same sink, and
oh my gosh, I had nothing positive to say for days, honestly, truly. That's a big reason I didn't want to come on here, because I think it's important to talk about our struggles and when we're not happy, but she was a miserable bitch.
And well, there was that. If we were more farther into our journey with Eureka, I think we could have done it, but it's so new, and there's so many other things that we're trying to tackle that wasn't even a fully formed habit yet, and we tried. We had high expectations. We started this YouTube series, mini series of us doing before and afters for moving, but it's becoming more and more apparent to me that that's not what I want to do at all.
No, for sure.
We were trying to incorporate it into our lifestyle, but when I think of our YouTube journey, I think it more of on a light worker type.
And the production value and stuff, why put all that time and effort? Interior design is definitely, I think, for both of us a passion and something we enjoy, but it's the work that, oh my god,
it's not naturally up either of our alleys. I think the before and after,
if we had a production team,
well, exactly, because it wouldn't be that hard. But it's the physical labor that goes into producing it when it's not aligning with what our true goal is, and just let it go. But that's why I think it's good that we're doing the In the Flow today, because I felt resistant. I've been resistant, but it's not a big deal.
And I think we've both been resistant, but also excited, because this is what we love to do.
This is my favorite.
Stoked, and things have gotten better. I would say for me, it's only been within the past week. I've been such a little Debbie Downer, but I stopped seeing signs, and I feel through the whole thing we're telling me about your synchronicities, but I was just jaded, man. I wasn't seeing any.
Yeah,
and in the past couple days.
Yeah, we both were going through it, but I think it was really separate. When I hit my low and I had a mental breakdown essentially, and there was just there's shadow work that I did essentially that triggered my questioning of reality and everything that I've ever known, and my attachment styles and all the psychology that I was immersing myself in. It was too much, but it was such a learning experience, and I hit such a low that I immediately got the high off of it, and I've been pretty good overall. I think I've randomly adapted a whole new set of coping mechanisms that I've been keeping in place pretty well, and I think I've made the big shift. I think it was more rapid for me, because even I feel your whole month of August, you were more bottling up, and
me?
then
No.
and you were like internalizing a lot of stuff, and then it was kind of like more of like a slow, drawn out progress for you, but mine was like not, I wasn't putting it, I wasn't putting any mind into it because I didn't know what was wrong, or I didn't feel it as much.
But we're here, thank God, somehow. So one of the projects in the new house is our bathroom, so I just got like done painting a vanity and doing another project, so I feel good, and we're getting crafty. Like, I finally found something that I want to make and sell, which is pop sockets. Follow us on Peace Bud Crystals, that's our selling page, and Courtney does resin right now. So in the meantime, not only did we move house, we also picked up a whole new business endeavor,
and that kind of replaced, no, I don't want to say replaced, but you only have so much energy in the run of a day, and unfortunately, like, our shift went from Eureka to our new business endeavors, especially because I think, like, money is a huge thing that we're both worried about, but I don't know, when we fell out of the momentum of it, we were also faced with, like, what we set ourselves up with was the before and after, so it wasn't even that initial passion or interest wasn't there. And I've done even, like, tarot readings and different things, and I've seen different signs and synchronicities. I've been, like, super in tune for a while. Like, I feel like I've been like, kind of isolating myself and having all these moments and, like, aha moments, eureka moments, whatever, where everything's coming together and clicking for me. But a thing that I was called to do was get in line back with my passions, and I think that's a big problem that I'm really coming to now, is, like, it's because the resistance was coming mostly from the YouTube aspect of it, because I just didn't want to do
that video. Yeah, for sure.
But now that we're doing this, I think this is a good way to get our foot back in the door and be like, okay, we like this. This isn't a big...
For sure. And I think part of why our energy has had to shift is when we were getting Eureka off the ground, we were getting it off the ground. Now it's got its foundation. Like Peace Bud and Crystals, we need to just leave this foundation alone, go build that up, so now we can simultaneously pour into both. Because if we were to try and maintain the Eureka while we were also doing the Peace and Bud, it wouldn't get the attention that it needs. Because they're both... We're very ambitious people. You know what I mean? It's not like, oh my God, we're struggling. So, because we're trying to do a fucking lot.
It is. Like, we're trying to juggle a whole lot at once. And that's what I keep reminding myself, because it goes back down to that, like, productivity bug that we all have for different reasons, that, like, you have to take a moment and just realize, like, if you feel like you're truly not doing enough, and that means, like, you don't have food in the fridge, like, you know what I mean? There's physical signs that you aren't doing well. Like, stop listening to that inner voice. Like, I can see it in you, and you can probably see it in me being hard on ourselves, but, like, it's like we are doing a lot at once. We're trying to establish a lot. This is a big period of growth. No wonder why it's so exhausting.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Because this is all creativity, too. Like, between... I'm personally really diving into spirituality, like, when I'm spending the time by myself and really immersing myself in that sort of content, and that is just unlocking a bunch of stuff. And then there's also, like making the pops, or, like, me making the resin. Like, that is a lot of, like, creative energy burn. Same with the podcast and YouTube and everything else. It's just, like, it takes a lot out of you, like, learning and being creative and
trying to schedule yourself too, I think, and like finding the balance between self-discipline and letting yourself relax.
Exactly.
That's where I'm so excited that I ended up with a day off tomorrow. By the way, I picked up another job. It's fine. It's fine. I'm also working part-time. It's fine. Don't worry about it. It's fine. I'm not a workaholic. It's fine. I'm excited to go apple picking tomorrow and, like, have the day off and just, like, not engage in any business stuff at all because, I mean...
Yeah, it's every day there's something,
no
and it's like you don't have to unless you really want to. Mm-hmm. And if you are feeling called to do it, then do it. But like if you feel like you need to do it, or you're looking for external validation to say like, no, like you can relax, because I feel like that's what I do is like, well, am I doing good enough? If you like, I don't know, there's when you know, and I feel like it's a physical thing. Like feel how you feel in your body. Are you tired? Then stop. But that just reminds me of the synchronicity or whatever this is. The psychic download. I don't know how to explain it, but things like this have been consistently happening to me. The synchronicities are through the roof. They're happening all day, every day. Some stuff I can't even explain. It's just like thought patterns that either like become relevant later, or like it's just repeating messages. You probably get the gist of signs and synchronicities. Anyway, they've been on overdrive for me. Anyway, I was lost in thought this morning after Hannah went to work, and there's been a couple circumstances where she thought she didn't work. It's fine. She's back at an old job. It's not
I promise I'm a good worker. I'm just
absent-minded because there's a lot going on. Yeah, there's that. Anyway, so I was just thinking in my head, like, I was picturing the manager, because I used to work there too, like, saying, like, oh, Hannah, like, you showed up to work, like, on a day where you didn't work, versus, like, the other way around. I can't even remember what the actual dialogue was, but it was just, like, a weird little fantasy I was having in the back of my head. Anyway, she calls me and tells me that she didn't work. This was, like, probably, like, I don't know how much longer later, and I'm like, that is so fucking weird. Like, why was I even thinking that?
I know, so bizarre.
And that is one of many examples of just crazy ass shit that's been happening that's making both of us disassociate more, because the signs of synchronicities, that is, like, that coupled with, like, even, like, the shadow work, like, in really feeling like, I don't know, it's a big shift, man, and I'm just like, holy shit, it becomes a lot. That's the only thing that I'd say is fucking with me right now, is like, I do appreciate it and I love it, but sometimes I'm like, it's overwhelming, and it's like, what is this? It's too much. Like, when it becomes the point of, like, the other day that I had when I was watching a show with my friend, it was like, one after another, the conversation that we were having, like, we'd unpause it. Like, we're talking about Tinder, and we unpaused it, and they immediately started talking about Tinder. That's one example, and it was just, like, consistently all day long. And it's, like, you come in and out of it when you're around certain people. It's, like, when your energies mix together, or...
Yeah, it's interesting, because, like, the same thing happened to me literally today, man, where I was thinking of a scenario in the back of my head. I was actually half doing shadow work while I was painting to myself, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, I was thinking about how in my past relationships, there's always been red flags, and I just ignored them. And Courtney sent me something, a screenshot of something, and it's about, or no, you were going to show me a TikTok, sorry. And it's about red flags.
It's a game called Red Flags. There's a game called Red Flags.
Are you serious? Like, in the same day that happened earlier, I was a little messed up. That was a little bit.
That type of stuff, like, happens to me every single day, like, legitimately, but sometimes they're just so, like, minute or whatever that, or, like, I can't describe them to people that they're gonna understand, or it even sounds believable, like, because it's all just shit that's going on when I'm mostly by myself, or when I'm with other people. It's nice when you have someone to share the synchronicity with, because then you feel, like, less crazy. Like the one that you had with the dog and the chalkboard.
Oh my god. So I don't even like to talk about it, because it makes me, like, ill at the end, because, like, it doesn't make sense to me. So my friend is throwing a gender reveal. Don't worry, they're not going to light anything on fire. So she wants a chalkboard so that it can be around the dog's neck, and the dog's going to run out. It's going to say what the baby is. And she's, like, talking about this chalkboard. We're on our break at work. We're looking in the Dollarama. She's mentioned it a couple times because we're not sure what section we'll be in. Couldn't find it, whatever. Next day, me and Ryan are driving back from his dad's house, and in front of us, I'm looking, I'm like, oh, a dog. And in the back window, I'm like, is that a fucking chalkboard right now? And
dog and a chalkboard.
Dog and a chalkboard. So random. How many times, I was telling Ryan, how many times am I ever going to see a dog and a chalkboard? Why would that happen after I was talking about it? we were supposed to have that drive because we were driving back from dropping off his dad's truck. We were supposed to do that the day before, but Habitat just Colin just happened to not be able to do it, so we had to go the next day. So the fact that the odds of me fucking driving behind a dog and a chalkboard the next day
it's divine timing. Actually, that, ladies and gentlemen, is law of attraction.
Yes, I
mixed
definitely
with
think
divine timing. But it's because you're consciously shifting your awareness that's so primed in your subconscious because it was such an object of your fixation.
Yeah,
that's what you brought forth, and it's weird because that's even what's going on with these signs and synchronicities. I think is because it's weird when it's more of like a psychic thing, like you have a weird premonition, like what happened to me today or whatever, something. Those happen to me a lot, but there's just a lot of the times where it's the other way around, like it's like I'm saying it or I'm doing it and then it's happening, and it's just like both of them are equally as shocking and interesting and just like they're cool.
Trippy. Yeah, for sure. I don't know if it's like the universe's signs or like the glitches in the Matrix or like what it is, but it's definitely there's got to be some sort of I don't know.
I don't exactly know what the mechanism behind it is besides harnessing like control and manifestation power essentially, and there's like
reassurance kind of.
Well, the conscious awareness of like the collective is rising right now, and that's why I think everyone's seeing them and everyone's energy is so up, and that's why I think like these synchronicities are happening because we're all kind of tapping into our power. Yeah. Because more people are waking up, right? Yeah. So it's like, I think that's a reason why. Because a good example is like before when I really went on the synchronicity journey, this is something that I'm passionate about, and I think it's the best way to point it out to people that aren't spiritual that something's going on, because that's how I started to really dive into it.
That was like your little bait.
Yeah, because but I like to bait people with that myself, because once I start pointing it out to people and then I'm around them enough, and then 9 times out of 10 they'll tell me that it's just like ever since I pointed it out, like it won't stop, and that's kind of like you're pulling them into that vibration, and you're once starting to
thinking about synchronicities, you manifest synchronicities.
Yes, exactly, and that's like your way in right there, and that's how you start kind of like believing them and seeing it, and then like seeing the matrix for what it is.
Yeah, and then that goes into the law of attraction too, and it's so true. It's so true.
But that's the best, I think, surefire way to break it down to somebody and get them like hooked on it. It's because it's fun and playful, and what I think we should do is like, remember I told you about this before, but when I put on my own Snapchat like a video explaining one that just happened to me, and the amount of people that responded to it and like was like, oh, that happens to me too, that is perfect. That is a perfect opportunity to get people excited and to understand what they are. So that is why we are coming up with like a more informative YouTube video explaining what they are, and not just like our experiences, but more of like a deeper meaning, and kind of we're hoping to share that with you guys, because like not a lot of people are going to sit down through a whole podcast anyway, and like I actually want to make this informative video and then be like, here, and then we can continue to like put it on Reddit or put it wherever and just see, because I think that's the best way to get people to essentially start waking up, and that is my ultimate goal, I think.
Yeah, and to have people in on the conversations, because we're well aware that we don't have all the answers, but thankfully through collaboration we can get to a better place as a society, right?
We don't have all the answers, but we do have hella fucking downloads at the same time.
I thought you were going to say HelloFresh. I wish we had sponsored, but we do have HelloFresh. Sorry. That would have been perfect.
No, we get downloads at the same time. Yes. This is, I'm going to bring this up in the synchronicity video as well, but not every time, but there is so many times when I'm lost in thought, like in the flow, or I'm trying to explain something to somebody, the next day, the same day, later on, Leor or Aaron, like the YouTubers that I always talk about, they'll put something out, or just any other like content creator. Sometimes there's like TikToks, it's like the answers to my questions or reassurance of my own thoughts instantly are manifested to me. Yeah. And it's just, it's very, very, very bizarre. Like I don't, and it's happened so many times that it's just like, I don't know.
Yeah, there has to be some sort of meaning behind it. I know that you're doing amazing, sweetie. That is...
Yes.
That is disgusting.
Oh,
why? How? I have no words. It doesn't make any sense.
It's like Lior's the most, Aaron a lot, because they're my favorite spiritual YouTubers, and I watch them more, so they're pumping them more.
Yeah.
But it's just, I don't know, they're always there to kind of like, but it's the same sort of downloads. It's not even like, it's nice to hear it out of someone else's mouth, but I'm coming to a similar conclusion on my own out of fucking nowhere. And you do it too. Like, it's just weird. Yep. You have these downloads, and then other people do too. Another example today, me, you, and Ryan were talking about the etymology behind getting on the bandwagon or falling off. I don't know what the other one was. Do you?
Falling off the wagon.
Yes. Anyway, and we were trying to figure out, we have a friend of ours, Andrew. He's the one who was explaining it to us a while ago, me and Hannah's boyfriend, Ryan, and we called him up, and he's like, that's so weird. I was just talking about this today.
So that's
the etymology of bandwagon or... Today, specifically.
Ugh.
Wait, what was the other? There
was you with me, and then there was me with you, and then there was Andrew with you guys.
Yeah. Or then there's like when you thought of our friend Kaylee, and she popped up. That happens to me like that. No, that's the type of stuff that happens to me like I don't even bring it up. One. Like it's just constant. Like, and then the more awareness that I bring to it, the more momentum that I get behind it. It's oh my god, through the roof. Like,
I like when a download clarifies an idea that you had in the past but you couldn't expand upon.
I was just about to bring that.
Oh shit! Well, speaking of downloads,
were you going to explain the thing that we did when we first were trying to describe like levels of consciousness?
No, but it's because that it relates to it.
Well, is that what you were gonna, or what were you?
Well, no, I was more thinking of like when I was at work and I was having that epiphany of like how a 40-hour work week is unhealthy for whatever. That was a deeper understanding of another concept that those connections are gone now because they'll come back to me and I'll have a better understanding of it.
That's how they work though. Like you have like little pieces that like complement pieces before, and then you're like, oh.
But this whole podcast actually stemmed from ideas that we had but we couldn't grasp that we needed to get out, and now we're at the point where we do have a lot more. I mean, we don't have all the information,
but the momentum is building as our spiritual awakening is progressing.
Yeah,
and it's really funny because we both went into a bout of like a serious shadow work and a big time of change. And like, so I don't know where I was going with that actually, but I just feel like the podcast is a physical manifestation of us and an extension of us and our spiritual awakening. Because like the shadow work that we were doing, like we kind of went cold on the whole
everything.
But now we're back stronger and better than ever. I think I'm really excited to what this new chapter is going to bring, because I feel more prepared. I feel like I've kind of narrowed down a more of a direction and where I want to go with it and what like lights my fire with this. And
we have a lot of fucking great things going for us, honestly. I mean, it's easy to get caught up in the stuff that we have to do, but gratitude, baby.
Exactly, and that is the number. That's a download that I had the other day. I literally just picked up, I've been journaling a lot more, which is actually increasing my downloads by like 1,000,000%, and I literally just picked up the pen, and I was trying to essentially, I'm gonna go grab my
other book. Yeah, no problem. We're alone. She's across the room. Oh, she's back. Never mind.
Yeah, and it just flowed out. It just flowed out of me like water.
Like water from a vessel.
Where are we? Okay, so the day before, actually, on September 30th, I was kind of not in a good mood, but I had Abraham Hicks in the back. Like, just, I put, like, spiritual teachings on in the background, and I get little blips of it. Anyway, I was writing in my journal and there was no more room, and she said something and I'm like, I need to write this the fuck down. So in the next spot, which would have been for October 1st, I put reaching for the vibration of relief, because when you are starting to spiral, that is absolutely the only way you're going to get out of it, and it's going to start with something small. You can't just go from being miserable and worked up to happy, because it doesn't feel real and it's so out of your vibration that you are not going to be able to reach that immediately. I don't think, personally. You have to kind of build the momentum. Anyway, so reaching for the vibration of relief. And then this download that I had immediately, this is what I wrote out. First, think of something that pisses you off, that you let piss you off. An example for me would be that I'm super forgetful, and it's hard for me to leave the house without forgetting something upstairs. And I moan and groan and bitch every time. But from here on out, I've decided that it's a blessing. It's a blessing because one thing I'm trying to manifest is a healthier, tighter body. So basically, the silver lining in this, I've been trying to manifest losing weight. That's what I was really focusing on, me and Hannah both. And one part into losing weight is getting more physical activity. We're living in a small little tiny apartment, and we're in this big nice house that has a set of stairs, and it's like your own little stair climber. That's, you're getting a little bit of glute action in every day, and by finding that vibration of relief for myself, it opens up the floodgates of gratitude. Now I'm grateful for the stairs, because now I'm manifesting the body of my dreams. That's a secret, sneaky little manifestation that you otherwise would have been pessimistic for, but it's a part of you achieving what you want. It's a little part of it, because that's how manifestations work. It's not all woohoo. It's little slight changes that are bringing you what you want, and you have to work with the universe. This is aligning with everything we want. We have our own art room. We have our own podcast room. This is exactly what we want. So why am I focusing on the fact that I'm forgetting shit upstairs? Where I'm not even working right now. It's fine. I have a time management.
Is on a different level than where we work, and you know what I mean. Do other things. It's a blessing,
exactly.
Like everything else in our life.
The point of reprogramming your brain is you need to constantly pick up on those things that are bothering you, get down to the root cause of why it's bothering you, find a silver lining, because there is. If you are just that pessimistic, then that is your own. You're gonna have to let go of that, and it's hard to let go because you are just so clinged on to the fact that
there's a comfort in misery and being in that low vibrational state. Because I know I was. It's easier to be depressed and lay in bed than put yourself out there and do what you need to be doing. You know what I mean? That's just...
I don't know. Oh my god, I'm moving the mic over to you. I'm like, oh my god, we have our own mics.
It's an interview.
Go off, sis. No, but it is, the resistance is a surefire sign that you should go with it. There's a difference between, there's resistance, and then there's also,
instinctual.
That's not what I want to do.
Yeah, exactly.
And it sometimes is hard to get down to the bottom of it, and I think that's what we're both trying to figure out, and I think that takes a lot of, shadow work, takes a lot of getting to know yourself, which we're both working on.
Yeah, but I think you can sense when you should be saying yes, or you should be just diving in, as opposed to when it's a fight or flight thing, when you should be hightailing it and there's actual danger, it's actually something you shouldn't be involved in, or
it's more exactly. It's a lot of the times you're letting your ego get in the way, and that is basically your biggest block, is your own goddamn self telling yourself that you're not going to be able to do it. So just listen to what the words, what story are you telling yourself? But I wanted to continue on with my point, because there's something else that I find is relevant. So your manifestations are right in front of you, or they're in the works, and you're not in tune with it. You're not going to see it unless you tap into the frequency of gratitude. And once I tap in personally, I feel a huge shift around me, solutions to my problems, things to appreciate, and good, helpful ideas start flooding into my head. Gratitude is the best vibration for receiving. But once you receive, it's up to you to put it into action, or you'll come to find out that you already have your desire, or find the reassurance. So that's what I'm trying to say with the weight loss thing. Like, I have lost weight.
Yes.
And, like, now that I've tapped into that gratitude for that, I can appreciate it, and it kind of makes me feel even more grateful. And the more grateful that it's just the momentum. Yeah. I see the momentum building, and it feels nice, and it's easy to tap into, and that's why I think journaling and actually trying to find things that you're grateful for, even if they feel forced, the momentum will build, and then you're like, oh my goodness. That's why, like, when we were saying, when you go for a hike, when you're in tune with nature and everything, and like you're with some good company, like that feeling of like, oh my god, everything's so beautiful, I appreciate everyone in my life, I'm you're so high
lucky on life,
and
basically.
you can do that in the comfort of your own home when you're feeling shitty. You have to put the work in, though. If you don't want to, then that is fine. Sometimes you have to just lay there and like pout it out.
And yeah, exactly, there's a perfect timing for that too. Like, there's a reason that we have to go through those depressions as well. It's not to say
shadow work.
Exactly, it's not to say that, I don't know, there's something wrong with you because you can't tap into that momentum, but just know that there is always hope on the horizon.
Exactly.
And it's always within your grasp, and you are always the master of how things will turn out.
And at the end of the day, you do hold the power, and sometimes you don't see the solutions quite yet, and there's more shadow work that needs to be done and ego deaths lined up for you, but it will click.
Yes.
And then you will have a new set of demons to fucking battle again. But it's not a bad thing. It's just shitty when you, like me and Hannah and Ryan, a lot of people that I know have gotten to the point of like, I just don't want to do this anymore. It is exhausting. Shadow work is exhausting, and the bouts of it are exhausting, but you have to remember that there is bouts of happiness. It does come back. Yeah. When you are so concentrated on how shitty you feel, all you're concentrated on is how shitty you felt. Like, that is the vibration that you're choosing to align with, and now you're going to find everything to reassure your own reality that you just built and now that you're projecting, because that's what it is. You're looking for other pieces to build your story that you're telling yourself, and that's what keeps going on. That's why you need to reach for the vibration of relief, because you'll start building a different story.
It's so important to surround yourself with people who are also trying to raise their own vibrations so that you can reach out, because as important as shadow work on your own is, I think it's also important to seek help. Therapy I think is good. Doctors are kind of, not my
that's
cup
a
of
whole
tea.
other.
Yeah, but there's plenty of resources, I feel like, at this point, and hopefully even like listening to this podcast to spark some ideas and eureka moments of your own.
And we are always open to chat. If you ever have, like, we don't have all the answers, but, like, if you feel, like, lost or alone in your, because I feel like a big part of spirituality, when you don't have the right people around you, when I didn't realize what I was going through, and before me and Hannah really started talking about it, I felt that's like disassociating was really kicking in. I was drinking all the time. I felt so empty and lost, and like I didn't have an identity. I didn't know what the meaning of life was. I didn't know what my passions were, but I had all this scary reality that I was coming out of the matrix, but to what? And then it wasn't until me and Hannah started talking, that's how the podcast was birthed.
I remember like the first day that we sat there, and I was like almost in tears because that video.
It was a synchronicity.
Yeah, so I watched a video that morning about how life was not real and all this stuff, and it was titled "You Will See This When It's Meant for You" or something like that. It was a black screen. It was just a man talking. I go back to show her, and this fucking video's gone. It's completely gone off the internet.
And then her history on YouTube was like out of order where the video should have been. It was very strange, guys. Did anyone else see it here? If this reaches,
yeah, seriously. If anyone else has watched that video, I don't know how many views were on it, but it was so,
because that catapulted our whole spiritual awakening.
That was a big. Because
that's what made us talk about it. We never would have. We lived together for months and never spoke
about that. We hung out all the time. We
had serious conversations.
I was gonna say we were fast friends and all, but that just wasn't a part until pretty much that night was a big
that was a catalyst for like why we're here right now. In that video, the fact that it was there and now it's gone, like whoever God. It's so weird.
It makes me want to cry because, like, I can't remember what the title was exactly, but it was hinting at that too, and like the fact that it triggered all this is fucked up.
Yes, it is. It is very fucked up. It is, but I appreciate it a lot. I like getting down, like, and finding the roots of why things are the way they are, or, like, analyzing divine timing. It's so interesting to me, like, how it's, like, if that wouldn't happen, then it, like, maybe it would have ended up coming out because I feel like our own spiritual awakenings were, like, progressing regardless, but, like... I'm very thankful that it also makes me tap into gratitude too, because I'm like, oh my god, that's how you become thankful for your own life, is like little things like that. Where'd they come from? Oh shit, like
yeah.
Oh, something that I wanted to, this is another like huge moment, essentially as like a light worker. Like, I think my duty would be to, I like helping people deep down, and it's this deep desire of mine, and I want to wake people up. We both want to wake people up, and we didn't know, we weren't even using this terminology at the time, but essentially what's going on right now is, like, everyone's shifting from 3D consciousness to 5D consciousness, and, like, when we were having a huge download, the both of us were just fucking, like, what's the word, bouncing shit off one another, but we were collectively coming to the realization that of the difference between 3D and 5D consciousness. So we were, okay, sorry about that. We just had to take a quick little break, Sipu there. No, okay. One huge moment when we were, was this before Eureka, or was this right when we were conceptualizing Eureka?
What?
Like when we were writing out, we were trying to make
this
a
was
physical chart of,
I think this was when we were conceptualizing Eureka.
Yes, and we were like, how
are we
gonna...
It was right before we had that idea. Anyway, go ahead.
I don't remember, like, I remember just a part of the conversation, no, it must have been after, because we were like, how are we going to be able to gauge people's level of awareness?
You were saying, you were like, well, the YouTube, and I was like, I'm not comfortable with that yet, blah, 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 and then I don't know who mentioned podcast, but as soon as podcast was mentioned, we were like, oh, yeah, duh, that's what we're doing.
Oh, no, it was just me and you, wasn't it? Yeah. Because Kelsey said she'd listened to us, and then we were having a spiritual awakening, and then we were like, oh my god, let's do a podcast. Yeah. And then, I don't know at what point we were talking about, like, how we're going to gauge people's level of knowledge, because a big thing for me was like, oh, when you know, or, like, I knew the word woke, but I'm like, how do you know if someone's woke or not?
Yeah, what does that actually...
What is it? And we were literally physically writing out... like drawing in like my journal, like my personal journal, like we both just had it out.
A little diagram almost to try
it's coming up here.
To try and put into words what we were...
So we were, oh my goodness, so it's like, yeah, we have like the elite in a bubble and then reality and like simulate, I can't even explain it.
Is life a simulation or is life spiritual? So our reality, we realize that life is a race. We're being deceived and we're being fed lies. So that's like
3D.
Yeah, exactly.
But when you wake up to that, I think that would be 4D.
Yeah, which is like this realizing life is about the pursuit of higher self and awakening. And we didn't even have 5D written down or anything to launch off of that.
That's why it's so funny. We didn't know how to conceptualize what it was until everyone started saying 3D, 5D. Everyone's shifting consciousness. I'm like, that it's just beautiful. And then we came across a TikTok. There was an illustration of like people inside of a cave, and they had a fire behind them, and all they knew themselves of was shadows, because that's all they've ever seen. And then there was like I don't remember what was in the middle cave, and then there was people outside of the cave, and that's the best way to describe it. We still don't know exactly how to gauge how woke someone is. I guess maybe I think by baiting them with the synchronicities probably would be the best way. Like now that we might have our answer now. Yeah. Now that we're talking about it, I think that would be a good avenue. But there is a whole mechanism or a scale that we were trying to describe
yes,
that other people
exist.
And that's what happens with the downloads. I've noticed that. It's like we have different ways of the ideas coming to us, but it's not an idea that you can just easily put into words. It's like it's a whole conceptualization of something, and to break it down into terms is hard, but that's why the more that you bounce it off other people, you're coming to the same conclusion. Or when I hear a video fucking saying the exact same thing as me, saying it better. Pretty much. Normally 9 times out of 10.
Well, I know it, and like you said, there's something in the air, especially today. So I don't know what the next couple weeks are gonna bring, but
I did a little dive into like astrology, and so what's going on? There was Aries, the full moon in Aries on the 1st, and I guess I don't even know. It's only like little tidbits that I'm taking in, but I think this fall is supposed to be a lot of like turmoil, but I guess you're supposed to be rapidly getting your manifestations in October. So like your whole intentions on October 1st you're supposed to be receiving them quickly. And I feel as though even like my previous manifestations are coming to light. Like the opportunities to make money have been more at my door, and that's what I've mostly been focusing on. And, like, other things, too, I really do feel as though I'm reaping the rewards now, and that's what I keep getting. Like, I watched a reading yesterday, and it was pretty accurate.
Pretty.
Because they base it off of, like, when they do there's certain YouTubers that would, like, are astrologers, and they, like, look at, like, the houses and the transits and all that, and that's how they're coming with that and mixing it with tarot, and I find it very interesting. That'd be nice to be able to do that someday.
Yeah, well, zodiac signs and that stuff is actually kind of, I think, how I got introduced to that kind of world. Is like, and you know how there's, like, different kinds of witches? I think I would probably eventually call myself, like, a zodiac slash sort of astrology-centered witch. Or that's, like, more so where what I gravitate to.
I don't know the different types of witches. I was
to say, I don't even know exactly. This is just, we're all beginners here, baby. So this is just based off of my very slim knowledge of witchcraft. Please, if there are any witches listening,
don't judge
contact me. Oh yeah, don't judge me. Don't judge
That's me. Very new. I feel more confident with the spirituality shit for sure. Yeah, because it was so new. Like we're getting these downloads, but we weren't sure of ourselves. But it's all like intuition, and I do believe it's just nice when you hear it across the board, like all through like spiritual TikTok and on YouTube and stuff. And I'm like, and even shit, we all really do become into the same conclusions, don't we?
It's so true. It's so true. And thank God we're back, because holy shit, it's about time what went down came back up again. That's
oh my goodness. But there was a lot of turmoil, like, right before we left our previous job, too. It was kind of the same thing. It was, like, the bleakness and the existentialism, and then it's, I don't know, it's just, it's cycles, and they have to happen, and you just have to fucking buckle down. And I think even through this cycle, I've been having a lot of signs and synchronicities, and after my breakdown, or like, there's been moments where I've been good and I've had mental clarity and I've felt aligned, don't get me wrong, but I think we're in a period of transformation, and it's okay to kind of
go through
or like seclude yourself and spend time with yourself and do your fucking shadow work. And
just reflecting back on all the shit that we've talked about today alone, and all the stuff that's happened with synchronicities, I think today is definitely a real turning point, because we've added so much to our workload now, and I mean, there's so much more crazy stuff to come, and we're on this whole other level in our spiritual awakening and the conversations we can have about spirituality. And I don't know, there's just, it was inevitable, but I think that right
we're
now,
more
in this
ready
moment,
than ever.
I was gonna say, I feel like that it's perfect.
Yeah, for us to return to Eureka right now after the break that we took, like, we did post on, like, TikTok and our Instagram a little bit, but to, like, this is, like, the meat of what we want to do.
Yes, this is.
And I feel like we're actually in the right mind space, because we did try to film one, but it just was not.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And thank God
it didn't post.
I was going to say I deleted it by mistake, and I think it was for a reason, because it was really forced, and neither of us were really in the mood.
And not in the flow, and
No,
that's the thing. It's fine that we weren't in the flow. That's the beauty of it, and I think that's the point that we want to get at today, is let yourself fall out of the flow. Yeah. Always reach for alignment or reach for the vibration of relief. Don't let yourself spiral, but you don't have to force yourself to be something that you're not. If you're feeling like low energy or like you need some downtime, take it.
Yeah.
You do not have to be productive 24/7.
Yeah.
Things will cultivate naturally and organically. Just don't give up on it. Keep it fresh in your brain. Try not to let the momentum die, and from here on out, that's what we're gonna do. So you're gonna be seeing way more of us from now on, because this is our passion. So
yeah, we're back at it again, boys and girls, and thank God we are.
Yeah. Well, do you think that's a wrap?
I would say on that note, we're at almost 45 minutes. Baby.
Okay, yeah. So if you liked what you heard today, give us a little feedback in the comments. If you're watching us on YouTube.
If you're watching this on Spotify.
Or listening.
Give it a like. Oh, yeah, watching. Oh, my God. You know what? We're just going to go.
Just show some love and support, please, and thank you.
Yeah, we're sorry we left, but we're happy to be back.
Yeah. And follow us on all our socials, and please go check out our sales page for our crafts. It is at peace.bud.n.
Like the letter.
Yeah, as in...
Nancy?
Wait, what is it actually?
Crap.
Okay, anyway. Crystals at hotmail.com. No, I'm joking. At Peace Bud and Crystals, which is dots all through the middle there. You figure it out. You'll see us on there, and buy some more shit.
I know. Free shipping on pop sockets in Canada, baby. I'm so excited. I had my first shipment. Anyway, we're gonna go.
Okay. Yeah. TTYL. Talk to you next time. Bye.